So students, our next slide is about setting up a new administration. Warren Hastings was the important figure who played a significant role in the expansion of company power. By his time, the company had acquired power not only in Bengal but also in Bombay and Madras. British territories were broadly divided into administrative units called presidencies. There were three presidencies: Bengal, Madras, and Bombay. Each was ruled by the governor. The supreme head of the administration was the Governor General. Warren Hastings, the first Governor General, introduced several administrative reforms, notably in the sphere of justice. From 1772, a new system of justice was established. Each district was to have two courts, a criminal court Faujdari Adalat and a civil court Diwani Adalat. The criminal court were still under a Qazi and a Mufti but under the supervision of collector. The principal figure in an Indian district was the collector, as his main job was to collect revenue and taxes and maintain law and order in his district with the help of judges, police officers, and darogas. A major problem was that the Brahman Pandit gave different interpretations of local laws based on different schools of Dharma Shastra. To bring about uniformity in 1775, 11 Pandits were asked to compile a digest of Hindus' laws. Students, our next slide is about the company army. Here we will see the comparison of Mughal army and the company army. The first we will understand about the Mughal army. The Mughal army was mainly composed of cavalry. Cavalry means sawars, trained soldiers on horseback, and infantry. Infantry, that is paidal, foot soldiers. Soldiers were trained in archery, means tirandazi, and the use of the sword. The cavalry dominated the army, and the Mughal state did not feel the need to have a large professionally trained infantry. The rural area had a large number of armed peasants, and the local zamindar often supplied the Mughal with paidal soldiers. A change occurred in the 18th century when Mughal successor states like Awadh and Banaras started recruiting peasants into their armies and training them as professional soldiers. Sepoy Army. The East India Company adopted the same method like Mughal army when it began recruitment for its own army, which came to be known as Sepoy Army, from the Indian word Sipahi, meaning soldiers. As warfare technology changed from the 1820s, the cavalry requirements of the company's army declined. British at the time were fighting wars in Burma, Afghanistan, and Egypt, where soldiers were armed with muskets. Muskets meaning a heavy gun used by infantry soldiers, and they used matchlocks. Matchlocks, an early type of gun in which the powder was ignited by a match. In the early 19th century, the British developed a uniform military culture. Soldiers were increasingly subjected to European-style training, drill and discipline that regulated their life for more than before. So students, now it's time to conclude the chapter. Through this chapter, it is clear to us how East India Company was transformed from a trading company to a territorial colonial power. The arrival of new steam technology in the early 19th century also aided this process. By 1857, the company came to exercise direct rule over about the 63% of the territory and 78% of the population of Indian subcontinent, combined with its indirect influence on the remaining territory and population of the country. The East India Company had virtually the whole of India under its control. So student, it was our chapter from trade to territory. I hope you all have understood. Now you can see a political map of India on your screen, and I am going to explain the some places or important places which we have read in this chapter. The location of the places, you can see students, while locating the places on the map we have to very careful about the states and direction. So let's start with Punjab. Punjab is northern state of India. It is located in northwest of India. Next is Panipat. Panipat is located in Haryana. And after that you can see Delhi. Delhi is located in UP. And Jhansi. Jhansi is on border of MP and UP. It is, you can say, in the south of UP. Next is Jaipur. Jaipur is located in Rajasthan. Plassey, we have read about the Battle of Plassey. Plassey is located in West Bengal. Then downside is Sambalpur. Sambalpur is located in the west of Orissa. Next you can see Hyderabad, which is located in the south of Telangana state. Satara. Satara is located in the west of Maharashtra state. And Mysore. Mysore is located in Karnataka state, in the south of Karnataka state. So student, I hope you all have understood the location of given places. In coming days, I will give you a map activity, so it will be helpful for you. Now it's time to say bye bye. Thank you for watching my videos. Take care.